Hi friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. I am excited to do a little cozy catch up with you all to talk about different life things. I have written down a couple of topics that I want to cover with today's video. So it will be very kind of mom-centric, life timing centric, and just a very honest real check-in on how this year has gone so far. It is almost 2026, which is absolutely wild. So I'm excited to kind of reflect on this past year and talk about what's coming up. So first, go ahead and grab whatever drink makes you feel most cozy. I have some chamomile tea right now, which is so funny because I saw this thing on the Great British Baking Show and they're like, in the US, when you're drinking tea, it means you don't feel good. Like we only drink tea in the US when we don't feel very good. And that's kind of how I feel right now. Is I have had a headache for the last couple hours and it is finally starting to go away. I did take something for it, and so I'm just drinking some chamomile to help soothe that the rest of the day. So whatever makes you feel cozy and in a kind of girl talk chatty mood, go ahead and grab that drink so that we can chat together. Let's talk about potty training. So I am currently in the middle of potty training my 3-year-old, and it is actually our second round of attempting to potty train him. So I hope to come back with some wise words of wisdom, maybe in a few months from now, on how we have conquered the potty training monster that it is, but it has definitely been way harder than I thought it was going to be. I think that maybe certain just videos and things I was exposed to made it seem like you could potty train in a weekend, or when your kid is ready, it will just click and kind of happen, that it's more so a choice on the parents than it is for, you know, a developmental difficulty for the child. And so we saw so many different signs actually to start my son Henry potty training back months ago. We actually tried to potty train him first in the beginning of this year around February, and that was when we saw that there was kind of a potty training sweet spot that ends when a kid is 2.5. And I think that these different zones of sweet spots, and talking about them like that and thinking, oh no, if you don't start right now, you're going to be too late to potty train. I think that all of that rhetoric is really harmful for us to use as parents and as moms, to talk about it that way, because you feel like you're rushed, and if you don't do it, you're going to be late. And so that's how I felt, is that, oh no, we're going to exit this sweet spot where it's really easy, and so we have to go ahead and try now. But also that was not completely based only in the fact that there was that zone, but in a few different signs that we thought, you know, he could be ready for potty training. He's seeming to keep himself dry for most of his naps. He's waking up dry. He seems to be really aware of when he has to go to the bathroom. We actually gave up multiple weekends to dedicate to the whole method of let's wear nothing, like no diaper at all. We're just going to embrace a few accidents around the house. We're going to rush to the potty. We're going to do all of that. We probably dedicated, I want to say 4 or 5 weekends almost to potty training, time and time again, from sometime in February, I think it's the beginning of February, to like end of March. At that point, it had been, or even April, I think it was maybe April. At that point, it had been 3 months or so of trying, and it seemed like we were not progressing anywhere after 3 months. And so it was very, very frustrating for us. There was many accidents we had cleaned up, and it felt like it was stressing us and stressing Henry more than helping either of us. Like that we had to go through this whole period of trying to get him to avoid holding it, because for a long time he would go, we would put him on the potty and he would just hold it and refuse to go. And so trying to get him to like be comfortable, using like blowing out the candle method, using like countdowns and all of these things to try to make him feel comfortable. We had several huge wins, like he went potty in the plane. We flew in March for my cousin's wedding over to the East Coast, and he legitimately held his held his bladder that entire potty train, and he actually had a successful potty situation on the plane. We would have incidents like that that were wildly successful, followed by accidents, like, or days that it was just really accident, 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 accident. And it was just very frustrating because he was not communicating at all when he needed to go, and he had very few body signs that we could tell that he was holding it. Like, he wouldn't do like the little potty dance and hold himself and kind of come over to us. It would just be like out of nowhere he would go to the bathroom. So anyways, it was so many days of doing that after, in April of this year, my husband found out that he was going to be losing his job along with everyone in the location in Carson City. We also found out that our lease is not going to be renewed for the year, so we were going to have to move. And so we were dealing with a job change and a move change all at once, and we just decided to pause potty training. It was just too much. And Henry was just not getting it. We were very stressed by it. And so we paused it, and we decided to pause it until Henry turned 3. Henry turned 3 in October, and we decided to then revamp it since he turned 3. And we have been doing that ever since. And we did wait a couple weeks for us to restart. I think it was November 1st. So it has now been almost a month of re-potty training Henry. And we have similar obstacles that we did before. We've learned certain things, like we have just decided to, remove the expectations of it, of like how fast he needs to get this down. And we have tried to be way more positive about it, and just decided that, it may take longer because of our work situation, because I'm a work from home mom, and it is very difficult for me to potty train him during a work day. And so we just decided, it's going to take longer, but we'll just put him in diapers when I'm in my work day. I will take him to the bathroom as much as I'm able to take him to the bathroom. And then we will all hands on deck after I'm off work and on the weekends. And if this takes a few months more to potty train him than it would if, I was able to be completely engaged and not working and fully have my full attention on him, then that's just going to have to be how it is. And so we made certain compromises like that we just decided that we're going to have to be okay with it, because it's just the circumstances that we're dealing with. It was hard for me to try to work from home, to try to potty train him, and then to be cleaning up pee accidents all over the house. It was just too much. He's a very strong-willed child, and so we'll ask him if he needs to go potty. He'll say no. When he actually does, we'll take him to the potty and we'll say, okay, do you have anything? And he'll say, no, I don't. And we'll count him down. We'll wait for a while. He won't go. And then right after we come out, then he will have an accident. And so he's just very strong-willed and does not communicate very well that he does have to go. But at the stage we're at now, he will basically, anytime we take him to the bathroom now, he will always pee if he has to pee, which is really great. He still does not come up to us and tell us that he has to go, but anytime we take him and offer to go to the bathroom, he will go to the bathroom now. And for number 2, he has had multiple successful times going number 2. And it's just kind of a timing thing on how much he's willing to sit there in the bathroom and try beforehand. And so if we can kind of catch him right when he needs to, we can make him go. And he actually has woken up from different naps crying, and we go in the room, we're like, what's wrong? He goes, I'm going right now. And so it will be too late at that point, but the whole fact that he's really bothered that it's happening is a really good sign. So I think that we are on our way to having a potty trained 3-year-old in the next few months here. And I have decided to completely surrender the fact that it's going to be an over the weekend thing. I don't think it is. And because I don't know if the struggles that we're dealing with now is because we started too soon or because we started and then we stopped. I'm sure it's a combination of things. But I think in the future that we will probably just start later, maybe around the same timing of around 3 for Lucas, and we'll kind of ignore that earlier window. I don't know. We're still navigating it. We're still figuring it out, but it definitely is a difficult scenario and situation for us right now. Okay, topic number 2 is weaning, specifically weaning my breastfeeding or almost not breastfeeding 1-year-old. So Lucas turned a year old this month on the 6th. And I wanted to continue nursing him at least until a year was my personal goal. And through 6th season, then as long as I could after it was my kind of secondary goal. And so I did the same thing with Henry, where I nursed him until his first birthday, but then I realized, hey, we're heading into 6th season. He's probably going to catch a number of things here. It would be beneficial to his immune system if he could have some of my breast milk going into flu season. So let me just try to keep going as long as I can. And I ended up giving him like a morning nurse and then a few ounces mixed with goat's milk throughout the day until he was 15 months old. So when he was 15 months old is when I fully stopped. So I think it was around, I think I had stopped fully with Henry for maybe at most 2 months. I guess it would have been even less than that before I got pregnant again. It might have been I had just stopped and then I got pregnant again. So I think with Lucas, we're actually looking to wind down a little bit sooner than what we did with Henry. I am not currently, at least for the last 3 days, I have not given him a nursing session in the morning. I am pumping right when I wake up and I'm pumping right before bed. And I'm getting anywhere between 8 and 12 ounces a day. And I just give him a couple ounces in each bottle throughout the day mixed with goat's milk. So that is currently what he's doing right now. So he's getting a portion of my milk and he is eating solids like a maniac. He's eating like a full-grown adult at this point. And so I think just with his development and stages, he can be fine to stop a little bit sooner because he is consuming so many calories through solids. I am just really ready also to be done. We had such a fond and good breastfeeding journey, but I think continuing it at this point would just be kind of a labor to continue it. And my now goal is just to finish out through December. And so if I can make it through the end of 2025, still producing breast milk, that would be great. But I'm trying to kind of cut off the amount of times that I am nursing him throughout the day. I may still give him a couple more morning nurses to myself potentially. I haven't decided yet if I have fully stopped. I just am trying to cut it back because I'm actually going out of town in a couple weeks. And so I kind of want that transition to be easier for him if I'm gone for a few mornings in a row. If we're already kind of slowed down and stopped, he's not even going to really think about it. So I'm hoping that that will be just really natural. And he seems like he's doing really fine with the bottles. So it's kind of just closing on its own, and I am grateful for it, for the year I was able to give him and the year I was able to give Henry plus a few months. And so yeah, I think that every day really is a gift, and I am grateful that I was able to give both my boys that. Okay, topic number 3 is trying for baby number 3. Are we going to try for baby number 3 and when? And the answer is yes, we are going to try for baby number 3, but not immediately. We're going to give ourselves some more time still. For around this time with Henry, I was really ready for baby number 3. I had got back into a good workout routine a lot sooner with Henry than I did with Lucas postpartum. And so I was just feeling, I think, a lot more myself, a lot more active, a lot more just like physically myself, physically healthy and kind of ready to jump back into it. And we're getting older. We turned 30 this year. I am definitely looking forward to a little bit more time to adjust. I definitely want to stop nursing and then be without nursing for a little bit longer, and just to have, a period of time where no other being is surviving off of my body. That would be great, because I did literally go from nursing Henry to then growing Lucas. And so there was essentially no stop there from keeping a little baby alive off of my body. And so it's just really taxing. And I would love to have a few months where I am free and clear of that. But also there is an upcoming trip that my family has planned in June. And so I would love to kind of last until June and try after June is kind of the rough goal there, because I have gone many vacations where I'm either pregnant, nursing, all of the things, and I think I would just really enjoy a vacation where I am doing neither of those things, whether I am neither pregnant or nursing. And so that would be such a dream to be able to go on this vacation with a little 1-year-old, 1.5-year-old, and 3.5-year-old, and just enjoy them at their ages, walking around, being so cute, doing all the things with nothing else taxing on my body during the trip. And so I would love that. And so I actually have a few things written down of things I would like to do, or kind of even results I would like to see in myself before trying for baby number 3. Things like, you know, I do have a weight goal for myself. I think it's important for me to feel confident in my body again, at least to a certain extent, before diving back into pregnancy. I had a lot of body insecurities, and I really do just retain so much water and balloon out with each pregnancy. It's hard for me. It would be hard for me to get pregnant right now again, just feeling not as confident in my physique right now as I have in the past. And so I have some just personal goals for myself to achieve before getting pregnant again. But ultimately, it is God's timing, and I do surrender to that and know that. But if there are certain things that I can do leading up to it that will help better equip me to be healthier and happier entering into a third pregnancy, I'm absolutely going to shoot and try for those things. If we happen to get pregnant earlier, then that is God's blessing and will, and I will absolutely accept that and love that and honor that our family is growing, because we want a third baby. So any timing will be beautiful, but my ideal is just to wait until next summer to even crack open that door again. So with that, I kind of covered it, but topic number 4 is upcoming trips. So we do have an upcoming trip to the Caribbean in June of next year. So I am super, super excited for that. I think that we will also potentially sometime in the next year do a Disneyland trip for the boys. I am waiting until Henry kind of reaches a sweet spot of age 4 or 5, just so that he can really embrace it. Right now, he is watching no Disney movies. He doesn't have any concept for any Disney characters right now, and he is just very, very active. And so truly, my entire family just went to Disneyland this month, and we did not go with them because we felt like the boys were just too young. And I'm glad that we didn't, honestly, because it would be really hard. Lucas is not walking yet, and so he would be very dependent on me, and Henry is still super, super young. He would literally be so excited to sit on benches in Disneyland. I kid you not. We need to like expose him to Disney culture a little bit more before we take him to Disneyland. It was my niece's first trip to Disneyland for my family's trip that they just went on, and she was the perfect age for it. She was developmentally ready for it. She loved the characters. She met the characters. She was super excited to meet them. She did really good on a lot of the rides that she went on. And so she was a great age. She was 5, so that was her first trip. And so I kind of wanted to let her have her first trip and just wait till the boys got a little bit older. So maybe we're potentially looking at next year, at the end of next year, potentially going with the boys. And other trips also immediately upcoming. I am going to Indiana in 2 weeks. I think I mentioned that in this video, but I am going to Chicago, flying into Chicago, and then driving into Northwest Indiana for some workshop that we are doing and a Christmas party that we are doing. So it is a workshop that will include everyone in my company, and absolutely there could be remote attendance for it, but I think that'd be really beneficial for me to go in person. My work expressed an interest for me to be there in person. I may potentially present a piece of some process changes that are happening, and I may not. We're kind of discussing whether or not that part will happen, but I will for sure fly out for this workshop, potentially present a piece of it to my team, and then we are going to have our Christmas party that Friday. And so I am actually staying in a little Airbnb downtown for the first time. Usually I stay in a motel, and it is just not a great hotel motel area, and that hotel that I've stayed in a few times is just kind of grody. I'm not going to, pick on any names or really say specifically, also just for kind of travel safety, but I am going to be staying in an Airbnb downtown this time. I'm so excited because it's going to be walkable. It's going to be very Christmassy, decorated downtown and all of that. And so I am really excited. It is going to be hard to be away from the boys though, since it'll be 3 full days and 2 half-day travel days. And so that will be hard, but I think that they do so well with their dad, my husband. They do so well with my mom, and so I know they'll have their support system there, and I will give them all the snuggles leading up to it. So then that brings us just to topic number 5, which is an honest check-in on how life has been lately. And it has been hard. This year has been challenging for sure. I've gone over it in a few different videos, but there has just been so many hoops and jumps and turns and twists and turns and unexpected things that has happened this year. I was really optimistic optimistic going into the year, thinking that it was going to be such a chill, mellow year. I looked at it and set goals, all kinds of goals for January, and just thought, wow, we're just gonna have a year where we're spending time with our two little boys, where they're growing up, where they're gonna turn 1 and 3 by the end of the year. We aren't gonna have any major like life things happen. We're not gonna try for another baby this year or be pregnant. And so in that sense, it will be uneventful. And I didn't foresee any other major things happening. I didn't foresee us going to buy a home because we rent. I didn't foresee any of that happening. And then plot twist, it sure did get shaken up in April when we found out within a few weeks' time that my husband lost his job and that we would have to be moving out of our home. And so that was very difficult. There was a few months' time where we were job searching and house searching at the same time. We did end up in this new rental where we're living now, which I am so grateful for. We're still kind of staying tuned on whether we are going to be able to rent this home for more than 1 year, because when we first moved in, and all of the rentals in the area are the same, where they're 1 year terms, and so this was no different. It was a 1 year term, but it was just an interesting situation where we are renting from the people who used to live here, and they are on like a year-long quest adventure in their RV across the US, and their plans are to buy a house after they come back. But there is a potential possibility that they could come back and live in this house. And so that would be extremely difficult if we are going to end up moving out of this home next year, because that would be in summer of next year. It'd be June-ish of next year. So I'm really hoping and praying that, God didn't just lead us to this home just to have us live here for a year and then move out. But if he did, I know that we were meant to move here. And so I know that his plan is so much better than mine, and that the year that we've been here has been such a blessing, and that we've made this house cozy and homey. And if he has us move next summer, then it is going to be for a good reason, a good purpose, and he has an even better plan in store for us. So I'm just trusting that. But I really do hope, my hope and prayer is that we'll be able to be in this home for longer than a year, because it is just now feeling really like moved in and cozy, and everything kind of feels like it is where it's supposed to be. And so I am just really hoping and praying that we can stay here longer. But that was a big thing. Moving, the job situation. My husband is in such a good job now that is very close to us. He moved and transitioned industries, which has been a really fascinating growth for him. And so it has just led us to, honestly more elevated communication in our marriage because of it, because he actually moved into a business development role, which is very marketing adjacent. And so we've had many conversations that are marketing adjacent conversations, and we have been able to talk about work in a very specific way and nuanced way together that we haven't been able to do since we both worked at Dutch Bros when we first got married 7 years ago. And so that's been really fun and has really increased our communication. Good things are for sure coming, but I think that was, definitely a hard season for us this year. There have been huge things on both sides of the family this year that have been hard to process and go through. And so that hit as well. Our really close friends who worked at the same place where my husband worked ended up moving to Washington State with the job transition that they just went through. And so they actually left the day after Thanksgiving. So they just officially moved away. And so it has just been hard. It has been a lot of hard things this year, things I didn't expect, things I couldn't have guessed would come. But what I told someone recently is that even though on paper it has been one of the hardest years of my life, it has not felt emotionally like it has been one of the hardest years of my life. And I think that goes to just the grace and peace of the Lord. It goes to personal growth and development, absolutely, but I would be remiss to say that it was my own doing that got me through the different hills and mountains and valleys that this year has brought. It has absolutely been the Lord, and I am so blessed by my relationship with Jesus Christ, and that I have this platform to share the good that he's doing in my life as well. I think that is very rare to do. You can obviously speak your testimony with those people in your community, but to have like a little window into, the outside world, to be able to touch people I wouldn't normally talk to, I think has been such a blessing. And so that has actually, really motivated me to continue making YouTube videos because I was actually really debating whether I wanted to even continue this channel at all, because I went many months without posting, without making content, and much of my content has received very low views this year because I did go, you know, multiple months without posting anything, and primarily the content that has done well for me on my channel has been related to having babies, and you know, this year has been crickets in terms of having babies. And so that just led me to a lot of questions. You know, was it worth it to continue going with my channel? Is that something that I really wanted to prioritize? Is it worth it for my family to make videos, to record them, to edit them? And every time I had that thought or question, someone commented on a video, oh my gosh, this was exactly what I needed to hear, yada, yada, yada. There was a comment that would pop up on a video that I had posted. And this kind of went on for like 2 weeks where I was like, should I continue posting? And then there would be a comment on a video. And that for me was just such a confirmation that yes, this platform might be small, but it is almost a ministry of sorts that the Lord has gifted me with, that sometimes I might share about the good that he is doing in my life and really testify to his glory and grace in my life. And other times it might just be kind of average life stuff that's kind of relatable and kind of encouraging to the average person, and I am okay with however he uses the videos and content that I produce. So I definitely do pray over videos and kind of sort through what I should be talking about, what I should be recording in my life. I think I'll continue to do a balance of some vlogs and some just sit down, honest, chatty videos like this one, but I hope that you are enjoying what I am posting, because I will continue to be making it into the new year, and I really, really do hope to be way more regular. I know that is always a goal that I've expressed, but I think it is really a sign of faithfulness that I feel like God is calling me to be doing this, and so I should be more faithful in that call, and so I definitely will be endeavoring to do that this upcoming year, so stay tuned. But thank you so much for watching this video. It means so much to me that you did. If you liked it, please remember to give it a little thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for content that might be similar to this in the future. I cannot wait to see you on the next video. Bye, friends.